Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Beginner CAD Training Manual. This material is brought to you by Aaron Septianto and Shashank Durgat, and me, your voiceover guy, Dominic Ryan. So right now, I'm going to assume that you've downloaded Fusion, it's all set up and it's all ready, and if you haven't done so, you can ask help via Teams to Aaron Septianto and Shashank Durgat. So today we're going to be doing CAD. What is CAD, you might ask? CAD is basically computer-aided design, or is when you design something with the help of a computer. Usually, it's just to help you visualize something that you'll make in real life. And for now, you can 3D print the object. As you might expect, today we're going to use Fusion. Yeah, there are other software that exist, but we're using Fusion today because it's for engineering and it's free. You are free to use any other software such as Blender or FreeCAD, but today we're going to teach you Fusion. So, let's start with the basic how to move around. Most of the time you're moving around and manipulating your object, you're going to be using the tools highlighted here. There's Object Browser, View Cube, Timeline, and Navigation Controls. To get you started, here's a display of the View Cube. You can left-click and hold to rotate the view. You can click on any of the faces, edges, and corners to snap to the right orientation that you want to view. You can also click the Home button to reset everything to default. You can use the arrow logo to rotate this way and that way. And now, you can use the scroll wheel and scroll to zoom in and out. You can press the scroll wheel and hold to pan around your work area. Or you can hold your scroll wheel and the shift button simultaneously to rotate around to the correct orientation that you desire. Now that you know how to navigate, let's actually start making something. We'll start by learning how to sketch. In general, modeling in Fusion can be broken down to 3 common steps: sketching, extruding the sketch, and modifying it. We'll start at the beginning, which is sketching. Sketching is creating the 2-dimensional version of the final object that you are trying to create. To get started, click the Sketch button on the top left-hand corner of your screen. You should see 3 orange squares in the middle of your viewport. Select one of the squares to start drawing on that plane. As you can see in the top left-hand corner of the screen, you can see various shapes that you can use to draw later. You can start by choosing one of the shapes and start clicking on anywhere on the plane. And then, when you want to finish drawing, click on another spot in the plane. With various tools you just learned, create this simple sketch displayed on the screen right now. Fusion won't be an engineering software if you can't measure your drawings, so let's start doing that. On the top middle part, you should be able to see some constraining tools, as highlighted in red in the video. To check whether your object is constrained, you should be able to see various icons on the object. You can select this icon and select any of the lines that you have drawn to measure it. Then, you can place the measuring line anywhere that you feel is convenient. The position doesn't matter here. Then, after you place the line, you can start typing in the length that you want and press enter. You can also select any 2 intersecting lines to find the angles between them. Before we start our second exercise, I want you to box select everything and delete it. Here is the object that you need to make. Make sure you have the correct measurements and you are in centimeters, not meters. When you click on a line, on your right screen you should be able to see a sketch palette. When you click and open the sketch palette, you should be able to see a function to change your line into a construction line, which is a dotted line as you can see on the screen. As the name implies, construction line will not be rendered in the final product. Take note that your measurements have to be mathematically possible. For example, an equilateral triangle cannot have an angle of 45 degrees, which you should know if you pay attention during math class. If you still go ahead with your measurement, you might still be able to see the results, but you won't be able to edit it. You can tell that the measurements is non-editable when there's a bracket around the numbers. Now, there are other constraints as well that you might see. These are the red icons on your top. Firstly, we have the horizontal or vertical constraint, which can make your line either go horizontal or vertical, as seen on the screen. Next, we have the coincident tool. When you select one point and connect it to another point or line, the 2 objects are joined. You'll know that the 2 objects are joined when the white dots are removed. Please note that the object you first click will move to wherever the object you last click is. The Equal tool allows you to select two or more objects and make sure the dimensions are equal or the same. The Perpendicular tool allows you to align two lines perpendicular to each other. Note that just because they're perpendicular, they doesn't have to be connected to each other, as shown in the example. The Midpoint tool will allow you to join the first line that you select to the midpoint of another line. Please note that this have to connect, and this doesn't have to be perpendicular. The Parallel tool allows you to align two lines in a parallel direction. Another constraint that we have is called the tangent constraint. It can make a line or a curve touch another curve at one point. The Concentric tool allows you to align two circles in the same center. Now that we've learned constraint, time to introduce you some miscellaneous modifications. The Mirror tool allows you to mirror any object. First, draw the mirror line. Then select the Mirror tool. Then you select the object that you want to mirror. After that, you select the mirror line. There you should have your mirrored object. Press OK. The Offset tool allows you to add internal or external thickness to your design. Simply select the perimeter of your design, then type in your desired value. Don't forget to press OK afterwards. Negative value goes inwards while positive values go outwards. If you have done and are satisfied with your sketch, you can finish it by clicking the Finish Sketch button at the top part of your screen. Now that you learned about various constraints, this is a challenge for you. As seen on the video, you can see a figure with all its constraints and measurements. Now, I want you to replicate the thing as closely as possible in your own software. Make sure that you have cleared every object in your viewport before you attempt in doing this challenge. Good luck! Finally, we have come to the part where we actually make things 3D. Now that we are back in the 3D viewport, time to extrude the object. Select the extrude icon on the top left corner of your screen. Then, select the face that you want to extrude. After that, you can follow the arrow up or down to extrude the face. You can also change your selection by clicking multiple faces after your extrusion. After you extrude, you might find that the original sketch has now disappeared. You can now make it reappear to extrude more things by clicking on the browser and selecting the sketch file and then clicking the eye icon on the sketch. You may notice the extrude panel on the right side of your screen. If you click on that and see at the bottom of the panel, you can see the tab Operations and there are multiple things inside it, namely Cut, Join, Intersect, and New Body. The operation Cut takes away a chunk of the object. The operation Join joins two objects together as the name suggests. The operation Intersects takes the intersection of two objects and make it a new object. Take note that New Body is similar to Join, but instead of combining the two bodies together, a new body creates a new object. Now, let us show you a few modification tools. The Fillet tool allows you to create smooth edges over the edges that you've selected. For your further exploration, the labels below the icons, such as Create and Modify, can be clicked to show all of the options. This applies both in 3D viewport and 2D viewport. There is another function that is pretty similar to Fillet called Chamfer. It is pretty similar in a lot of ways, but there are some differences as shown in the screen. The Shell tool, as the name suggests, makes your object into a shell. Simply select a face and click the tool. The tool will carve out the object hollow, as seen in the video. Now you may observe at the bottom left corner of your screen some collection of symbols. This is what we call timeline, as we have mentioned earlier. Timeline is a more powerful undo or operation history. It allows you to edit past modifiers that you've made. You will know that you have reached the correct modifier when the modifier highlights the part that it edits. After you found the right modifier, right-click it and press Edit Feature. When you make a mistake, it is very recommended that you edit the modifier instead of creating new ones to fix the mistake. Besides the functions that we have shown, there are other functions for you to explore on your own, such as the Loft function and the Resolve function, and many more which you should explore on your own time. So that's all for the training we have for you today. We hope you enjoyed it, and if there's any questions, feel free to ask us on Teams, Aaron Septianto or Shashank Durgat. Thank you!